Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. The Indian government has issued new AI content rules as it looks to prevent major deepfake related scams and attacks on innocent people in the country. The new rules come into effect from the 20th February 2026, which is just a week or so away from being enforced, not only for content platforms, but also those who create content shared widely across these social media apps. This means the likes of Instagram, YouTube, and X have to be mindful about the content that are being published by users and inform them about labels and watermarks needed to differentiate AI-generated content with the original stuff. The government rules clearly put the onus on platforms catering to these tools and content that come with the necessary labels and other directions of use. In addition to this, the platforms need to embed permanent metadata into the AI-generated content to allow easier identification of the creator and even the source of where the content was formed. But how is the government defining AI-generated content? Well, the notification says any information or content synthetically generated in audio, video, or audiovisual mode and altered using computer tools and make them look authentic based on an event or a person will be categorized within this ruling by the center. The bigger tech entities like Instagram and YouTube have a bigger task though at hand, and they need to improve their overall moderation. The new rules also require intermediaries to remove certain categories as unlawful or harmful content within 3 hours and to ensure that AI-generated or manipulated content is clearly disclosed to users. The amendments also come amidst a surge in deepfakes and AI-generated content flooding the internet. Nicholas Miale, co-founder AI Safety Connect and co-founder of Prism Eval, is joining us live on the broadcast. Welcome, Nicholas. Thank you for being with us today. What do you make of these new rules put out by the Indian Ministry of Electronics and IT?
Well, thanks a lot, Uday, for having me. And I think that the government guidelines, which have been announced, are clearly a step in the right direction. But we also need to be realizing that they will be difficult to enforce. So I actually consider this as an immense chance for India to show its leadership, its global leadership, in what we call frontier AI safety. Let's remember that next week, Prime Minister Modi is going to host many heads of state and industrial leaders on the AI Impact Summit. And it's, I think, quite interesting to see the timing of these rules and see how India wants to show that it's trying to reconcile the need to democratize access to AI innovation and the need to prevent its harms. It's clearly the situation of a so-called double-edged sword, because the plummeting costs of access to advanced AI models for video generation and sound generation trigger a wave of democratization of application development. But it also translates into a potential increase, if not revolution, of fake news media. And the latest models which have been deployed over the past week with lip synchronization technology, which are open sourcely available, create velocity and volume, which enhances the emerging crisis that we're seeing in terms of information integrity. What the technology that we're seeing in our hands right now and deployed across society is creating is in effect a stress test on all democracies, a stress test on the potential to keep information integrity because of, as I said, of the lowering access barriers to these technologies. And so India is going in the right direction, clearly. Now we'll have to see, and we can discuss more in terms of what are the challenges to deploy this, because there is currently no national standard and no international standards to do this labeling, to do this tracing, that remains in so many ways an engineering challenge which isn't solved. So implementation is key, and the international coordination to force international platforms as well as local platforms on that. Not to talk, of course, about the linguistic diversity of India, which adds to the challenge.
But was this the need of the hour? Because at the end of the day, AI can be misused. AI, can be used for wrong purposes if, of course, fall in the wrong hands. Also, at the end of the day, AI can also, sort of infringe on people's privacy if used in a negative fashion as well. So was this the need of the hour, these rules?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? Was it the need of?
The hour. I mean, were these rules needed? Aren't they necessary if we are, going to see a possible misuse? These regulations were needed.
Yes, they are needed. We have seen in previous political election campaigns the rise of fake news media.
Yes.
So it's important to protect Indian democracy, to protect the trust of its citizens, well educated, less well educated in the media and in the information. Violence is around the corner when the stakes are high, and the protection of democracy requires ex ante implementation of these rules, even if they are difficult to implement. It's a challenge. Let's take it up together. I think it's an important thing to mention because, as I said again, it's not the first time. Deep fakes are not new. What is new is the intensity, the scale, the volume, the velocity with which it's going to hit our screens for ourselves and our kids.
Now, some analysts, though, say the implementation may be a bit difficult in the timelines given as well. Suppose a certain content is flagged as harmful. Obviously, social media apps get a certain amount of time to take it down. Now, how easy or how difficult is that implementation according to the time window going to be?
It's difficult. Let's be clear. There is a 3-hour takedown window. And this creates right now an operational risk and an uncertainty for platforms. And also a risk that you did not mention, the risk of over-censoring. It's going to be difficult for these platforms to deploy the technology and the tools to chase the news and to disseminate, to dissect between what is good and what is bad. And so we have also the risk of over-censoring legitimate speech or satire. And satire is really crucial in a democracy, as we all know. But the other problem that we're seeing is who is going to bear the burden for synthetically generated information that slips through the crack? Is it the platforms, the developers, the creators, all of the above? And how will the governments actually decide to implement and hold responsible the actors? We basically need clear rules, and we probably need to innovate as well mechanisms such as safe harbors or good faith compliance to address this uncertainty and compliance risks for platforms and media, which need to operate to deliver democracy. Again, the risk, as I said, is also over censorship.
Okay. Nicholas, I appreciate you joining us with your perspective on this segment. So we are, of course, examining the new AI rules. Let's open this up now to the rest of our panel. That's also live with us. Khushbu Jain, our managing partner, ARK Legal, is live with us. Nirali Bhatia, cyber psychologist, also joins us live. Sakshar Duggal, AI governance expert, is live with us. Ronita Sengupta, AI ethics expert, also joins us now on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Khushbu. On these new AI rules, were they the need of the hour according to you?
See, it's a step in a right direction, if I have to start with saying, because we are living in the age of technology, and we are seeing that how AI has been part and parcel of it, and how AI has brought in a lot of sophistications in the way crimes were committed. To an example, that whatever learning we used to give it to people in terms of any kind of phishing attacks or any kind of messages or any kind of videos that used to come across, we used to say these are the things you should watch out for and do not believe into it. Right from spelling mistakes to errors, or how it would be such a bad copy of making a video or things like that. But AI has brought in and catched up, and it has brought in that sophistication in the way now videos can be created, which looks absolutely, it is impossible for a naked eye of yours and mine to understand this is real or this is synthetic one. Same as with the voice. 7 seconds of your voice is what they need to create practically 80% precision in how your and my voice would be. From them to utilizing it in mass bots, they understand how kids chat and that grooming part of it, bullying part of it. You just think of a crime, AI is adding that AI element into it, is making it so sophisticated that it is becoming difficult for people, for law enforcement agencies, for anybody to catch up with. And that's where you need a technological measure to curb. And that's where we are talking about that the new measure is trying to catch up, that let there be a 3R part of it, let there be an understanding that which mandates any video that is coming, whether it is with the intent of malice intent or whether it is an intent to educate somebody, let there be a proportion which says mandatory and writing that this is a AI generated content, so that a person can get a clarity that this is not real, this is synthetic, whether it is for an education purpose or for cheating somebody or for any kind of malicious intent that the content is created. I think that's what the rule is about, and I think it's one of the right step in a direction, and the world has to look into it.
Khushbu, social media apps, how easy or how difficult is the implementation of these rules going to be?
Okay, I just heard half of it, and I think you're talking about if I can make sense of it, you're talking about how easy or difficult it would be for social media to implement
Yes.
this. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. For easy, see, at last, you're a profit-making company. You have technology. You have a wherewithal. Whether implementation part, can it be challenging? Yes, it can be challenging, but it's not impossible for them to comply. But if you see with the part that how much harm it is causing, right from as I said, do think of a crime and that's happening, and social media are the breeding grounds for these crimes, and the reach of social media platforms is unimaginable. With that, if you see that one side is your profit making, second side is the harm that is caused to people. That's where I think it was a duty for these platforms to practically bring in these elements into it. You are inculcating AI, you are inculcating technology for business and a profit motive. That's where I think it would be an additional cost, and you should think of that additional cost as a cost of running your systems or providing platforms, because this is talking about safety of children, it's talking about safety of citizen, it's talking about safety against a crime which is not committed by social media but some third party vendor utilizing social media. So it's high time that the steps should be taken so that these platforms do not continue to become a breeding ground for criminals. It's very important. Technologically, it's not impossible. Yes, there would be changes that you have to bring in your systems, but again, you're bringing those changes. When it comes to profit, I think there should not be a difficulty in bringing it for when it comes to safety of your users.
Khushbu, as far as these rules are concerned, can India emerge as the global leader in AI governance if these rules are implemented successfully?
Absolutely, because this is a fight not just India, this is a fight against each and every user utilizing technology, living in this age, are there on social media platform. This fight is everywhere, every household, every one person in one family has gone through some or the other form. It can be right from defamatory content to bullying to grooming, to some form of it that has come out, or they have been victim of having misinformation or a disinformation and continued. And that's where I think India can emerge as one of the leading country to showcase that this is possible and this is how we should be doing it, and for others to follow the same steps. Because if you'll see, I'm again repeating the things which I was talking earlier, that when you talk about technology, there has to be it's like you have to consider this as a this act of 3 hour takedown as a rapid digital fire brigade response kind of a thing. We need a fire brigade. The way we have fire brigade, we need a digital fire brigade, and this will act as a digital fire brigade if implemented in the same intent as it has come across.
Absolutely. Nirali, if I can quickly draw you
Yes.
in here as well, because obviously many are saying these rules were the need of the hour. We're beginning to see deep fakes. We're beginning to see how AI is often being misused as well. Were these
True.
then needed, to ensure that the misuse of AI does not happen by some who try and take advantage of this?
Absolutely. See, it's not just only in terms of, anyone being victim of a certain deepfake or so. It is also on a day-to-day basis, the cognitive load that a common user goes through of identifying what I'm reading. Is it factual information? Is it misinformation? Is it disinformation? So it is absolutely an important step and a much needed one to make sure that at least we are reducing that kind of load. We are bringing in the trust element again, because we are tired in saying in the awareness trainings that, don't trust internet, don't trust internet, but we live in this world 24/7. So if you live over there and if you tell people don't trust, it really does not work. And hence, to bring in the trust element back, we need these kind of measures. They may sound at the beginning, yes, difficult, at the beginning more demanding, but I guess if we don't set a precedent now, we are looking at a bigger disaster going forward. I mean, not that enough damage is not done. I mean, we worked with cases where children have been, accidentally even at the bullying end themselves and at the victim end also. Technology is a double-edged sword, right? It's also in terms of, that where we want to experience, where we want to experiment, but without knowing what's going to be the consequence, it has been a challenge, especially with younger children. So not only to safeguard victims, but it is also to set in a right code of conduct is where we do require this kind of, regulations.
Yes, indeed. Sakshar, how easy or how difficult, though, is the implementation of this going to be for social media apps, for companies?
Well, no doubt the implementation will be extremely difficult because number one, yes, we are using AI, but companies were not expecting this kind of a rules to come up, and that too of a 3 hour taken down window. That's number one. Number two, somewhere, and I personally believe that these rules are somewhere incomplete because in a lot of places there are a couple of vague areas as well. What I'm expecting is maybe the Indian government will be coming up with these rules where some bifurcation as to what kind of SGIs, that is, what kind of synthetic data and what kind of risk do they have. Because again, synthetic data as a term, it's vague, and having that vague definition would definitely cause some sort of a problem and confusions, number one. Number two, companies somewhere, now they have to understand that if they're using AI, it's their specific responsibility to take down, and there are no excuses altogether. So I think the Indian government has been very much clear in their respective conduct.
Okay. Ronita, if I can quickly draw you in here, as far as these rules are concerned, what was your first interpretation of them? The fact that this could actually be a turning point for AI governance in the world. This comes at the cusp of the AI summit, where we will be seeing heads of state converge in New Delhi, also AI leaders. Perhaps they also will take a cue from this then.
Yeah, so I definitely would like to make a point over here that this has been long called for. The new rules, the regulations that the government has brought about is definitely very welcoming because it's not a standalone AI rule. It's got a connection with the DPDP Act and the other privacy factors. And let's remember one thing, that AI is not dangerous because it's intelligent. But I think AI becomes dangerous when intelligence is used without either accountability, ethics, and transparency. So I definitely feel that there are a lot of aspects that the government has looked into while these regulations were being made. For instance, I think we knew what happened with Grok. We knew what happened on X, okay, where Elon Musk never took the responsibility. But today, big techs, or intermediaries like a YouTube, X, or Instagram, and Facebook just cannot wash their hands off. They need to take it up as a major ethical factor, and they need to come up with regulations so that we do not make, vulnerable citizens, whether it's women, children, senior citizens, even public figures, go through the tremendous agony and bullying that we've seen, or, what AI can do. So I definitely see this is a perspective that was long required, and especially, if India is a trailblazer on this front, we must support the government. We must make companies, individuals responsible. And I think, when social media companies say that, oh, it's the user's responsibility, you just can't make loose statements like that. If you are a company like a YouTube, Instagram, FB, and X, you must have those tools and technology to detect where AI is being used. And let's say as a user, if I am not, putting that disclaimer, this is AI content, you should be able to do that. So we have to put them, under the radar. We have to make them responsible, because I think it's time, where we've been seeing so much of crimes that's going on, whether it came through deep fakes, deep nudes, and the social media bullying that we've seen. I think this is the right time, the right age where we take proper governance and action. So that's what I definitely want to say. And I would like to see more of such global rules coming up, where the big techs, the government of the different, countries come together to ensure more monitoring and definitely more ethical channeling of AI.
Appreciate you all joining us on NewsX with your perspectives. It's time for a very short break.